Everyone would agree that nothing can excite quite like sports.
Definition.
Maybe it's a touchdown in football.
He turned 32 yesterday. Does he have a vintage moment in him? In the end zone, it is
A slam dunk in basketball. A big hit in hockey.
You see Bufflin coming?
Or even a home run in baseball. But maybe the most exciting sport of all involves men and women going into a roped-off square and punching each other in front of sometimes hundreds and thousands of people and knocking each other out for money. This is a very broad definition of the sport of boxing. Boxing includes quite possibly the most exhilarating visual in sports, and that is a knockout. Through the years, boxing has seen its fair share of knockouts. Most of them are committed by some of boxing's most serial knockout artists. Knockout artists are men and women who have mastered the art of knocking another human unconscious with their hands. Some of the people who come to mind are Julian the Hawk Jackson, who had 49 career knockouts and knocked out 80% of his victims.
The Hawk Jackson!
Another boxer who comes to mind is Big George Foreman, who knocked out 84% of his opponents with a total of 68 knockouts. And more recently, the Bronze Bomber Deontay Wilder, who has knocked out 95% of his opponents with a total of 40 knockouts. But possibly the greatest knockout artist of all time, the man who in his prime was boxing perfection, with 44 knockout wins, knocking out 76% of his foes. Iron Mike Tyson is that man. A common misconception is that knockout artists have to be big, such as the 6'7", 247-pound Vitaly Klitschko. However, Mike Tyson was extremely undersized for a heavyweight, standing only 5'10", but he did weigh 218 pounds, mostly in muscle. Another common, however incorrect idea is that knockouts are all power. While power definitely has a factor, there are other things at play. If we are talking sheer power, there's never been a man who hits quite like Big George Foreman. Yes, Tyson had power, but he also had speed and agility. Tyson was a heavyweight who could move like a featherweight.
My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable.
Tyson was special in the way he used his self-proclaimed impregnable defense to spark his offense. He could also string those punches together, both to the head and to the body. While most of his opponents had a big height and reach advantage on Tyson, he could still get right up to the taller opponent's face and knock him out. A lot of people think Tyson fought on the inside using a variety of uppercuts and hooks, but really Tyson fought at a mid-range point. He would throw light jabs and slip his opponent's punches, and as soon as he saw an opportunity for a knockout, he would use his massive rhinoceros-like legs to leap into his punches, which would provide even more power than he already had. This is, however, not the first time this style was used. Boxing legend Smokin' Joe Frazier also used a similar leaping punch style. Tyson was a physical freak to look at, and it wasn't just for show. Tyson could move his head and body to avoid practically any shot while charging forward, and he was still lean enough to carry incredible speed. Some people may wonder why such a brutal job and such brutal knockouts could ever be considered an art. But when watching Tyson and really picking apart that peekaboo style, you can see that boxing is more than just a brutal sport of punching. It is a sweet science. Mike Tyson in his prime was not only boxing perfection, but scientific perfection as well, and that is what made him the greatest knockout artist of all time.